Stone and Chalk. You might know this space for a number of different reasons, but it has recently been relaunched in this space, beautifully redone after a lot of renovations, to be the largest fintech hub in the Australasian area. We have an office here and in Sydney, and our focus here is on fintechs, supporting them in every way we can.
Thank you very much, Harrison. So, welcome everybody, and I think it's about our fourth event that we've run in Melbourne, and you know, we've been partnering with Stone and Chalk to bring these Masterclasses together for about 9 months, and we not only run them here in Melbourne, we also run them in Sydney. We actually ran the same event yesterday in Sydney. We thought it was such a topical theme, it'd be great to actually get both cities to experience this Masterclass back to back. So, but a little bit about who Firemark Ventures are. We're the corporate venture capital unit of Insurance Australia, which is Australia's largest general insurer. You might also know them as IAG. And they sell insurance products, and these are personal insurance products, commercial insurance products, and rural insurance products, and they sell to consumers and businesses. You might know some of the brands such as the NRMA, CGU Insurance, RACV, WFI, and Swan Insurance. But Firemark Ventures is an area of business that's set up to bring the outside world in. And the way we do this here is we invest and partner with startups. And the reason we invest and partner with startups is we're not a financial investor. We do not do this to try and actually see if we can make a return on it. We're actually a strategic investor. And what we mean by being a strategic investor is that we invest in startups to do one of three things. We invest in startups, and primarily the idea about here, as I said before, is to try and take their capabilities or the technology of those startups and try and bring their capability inside the IAG. And every time we do that, we try to achieve one of these three goals. When we invest in part of a startup, we're looking to get access to new and innovative sources of data that might actually help us better understand and service customers. So that's probably one of our first reasons we invest. Second one is we're always looking to disrupt ourselves. The reason we actually invest in startups is actually looking at the traditional insurance chain, or the whole financial services chain, or actually the sort of value chain more broadly, and see actually how we can disrupt it. So by bringing the startup in, actually it's always a way to challenge ourselves and challenge the traditional model. And the last one, and let's be honest, right, that's probably where some of the financial benefits come through, is we also know that we can create new business models. So every time we are investing in a startup, we're looking to try and achieve one of these three things. So over the last 2 years, we've actually invested into 7 startups, and the idea we're doing through here is that we're actually leveraging and partnering with startups capabilities and technology, and then we're doing all of that right now to achieve one of these three things. So we're really thrilled today to have UpGuard with us. UpGuard are one of our partners, and they're one of our earlier investments, and we've been working with them for the last couple of years. And more recently, we've actually been doing what we were just talking about on the previous slides. We've actually been working together to try and now develop what we're starting to see as a new and emerging cybersecurity and cyber risk capabilities. So very shortly, I'm going to hand over to Chris Vickery, who's come all the way from the US. Chris is the Director of Cyber Risk at UpGuard. Chris is going to do a keynote for about sort of 30 minutes, it's going to be just as fantastic as what happened yesterday with the session Chris held in Sydney. Without further ado, I'm actually going to hand over to Chris, and let's get going with the keynote. Thanks very much.
Good morning, everybody. I am Chris Vickery, the Director of Cyber Risk Research with UpGuard, and it is my pleasure to speak with you this morning. I call myself a data breach hunter. That's not an official title or anything. That's just kind of what I called myself. It gives me a good idea of what I do day in and day out. I hunt down data that is exposed to the public internet that probably should not be exposed to the public internet. That's one of the platforms that UpGuard basically allows larger as well as some smaller, but aimed at the enterprise level client to take advantage of these days. We have basically a white glove service that has people as well as automated processes looking for that type of data. I like to think of myself as a challenger to incident response norms. When I started looking for data breaches just as a hobby about, mid-2015 or so, I would find a data breach, I would notify somebody of it, and they would try to sweep it under the rug. They would try to make it go away. They would not tell anybody about it because that was the profitable thing to do at the time. That was the normal thing for businesses to do at the time. I really challenged that in that I partnered up with media and made the stories known and let people be aware of how often these things are happening, how common it is, that it's not something that you have to be ashamed of because it's a win rather than a if type situation. Everybody's going to have data breaches. It's how you handle it that matters. Moving on to where we are now and what to expect in the near future. I think that's what everybody is most excited about, what's going to be on the horizon, what's coming up. So things that have been the norm are unnecessary exposure. I hope everybody here is familiar with the WannaCry situation that happened a little bit ago. That was the worm that took advantage of the NSA's exploits and went and hurt the UK health system. And Maersk, I believe, had a problem with that as well, and just everybody around the world. And the problem wasn't necessarily that the NSA exploits got out. The biggest problem that people could have stopped doing to stop that from an initial point is exposing port number 445 to the public internet. There's no reason that anybody should have been exposing that to the public internet. That's the port that the worm was propagating through. And if everybody had eyes open on their network and all the systems administrators knew what they were doing, it wouldn't have been a big problem because only a small number of misguided creatures would have had that port open to the public internet in the first place. And by keeping your eyes closed on your network, you are risking ruin for little gain. By not investing in technologies or partners or vendors that will allow you to see what's going on your network, you are saving a little bit of money, sure, but it's mostly out of not understanding the importance of it. You are being a little bit negligent, you're being naive, but you are gaining that little bit of, okay, things are going fine type of mentality in exchange for risking complete ruin. A data incident can completely destroy your company. It can ruin your reputation at the very least and have wide-ranging problems for you in the future. And that's really not a good proposition. You should be taking advantage of everything to know what's on your network and open your eyes. So current trends that are likely to increase. Some just interesting stuff that I feel is going to be an increase in the future is that companies are going to realize that you can take advantage of user willingness rather than taking advantage of, let's say, actual software to get something done. If you make somebody click one button to opt into a service, but make them click 15 or 20 screens in order to opt out of it, obviously you're going to have a hell of a lot more opt-ins and very, very few opt-outs. It's a legal fuzzy area, and legal gray zones and fuzzy areas are going to be very big in the near future. Things that are not yet litigated out to a point where there's a cut and dry zone, they're going to be taken advantage of greatly, and we're already starting to see that with what I just described that are known as dark patterns. That's what the user interface groups tend to refer to them as. The concept of meat space versus cyberspace is something that I believe the next generation, maybe underneath the millennials, is going to really bring into fruition. Right now, we oftentimes try to throw a legal analogy using meat space concepts. Meat space is where you and I exist right now, where we're wearing our clothes, we have our physical dollar bills and everything. Cyberspace is the area up in the air that is where all the data is flowing. It's a concept more than a real space. And it's very hard to have accurate analogies that take into account everything when you're going from one to the other. Attorneys will argue that sending a packet through the internet is the same as writing an envelope, putting somebody's name and address and sticking it in the mail. That's not really the same thing. And you run into a lot of counter arguments and a lot of trails, a lot of rabbit holes you can go down that don't really get you one way or the other. We're just going to have to develop as a society a better understanding that there is a major, major difference between meat space and cyberspace, and the analogies don't always work.